What's up, guys? So I was lurking the Raptor forums. I swear, like, on my Facebook feed, like, it's all the Raptor forums that come first because I'm always looking at that stuff. Upon looking at it, more and more often, I keep seeing this damn carbon fiber steering wheel popping up, and everybody's commenting on it, everybody's buying it. So then I start researching, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to buy it, I don't need it. And then more people keep posting it, talking about how great a quality they think it is. And then some people are saying they think it's like an OEM refurbished steering wheel or whatever, and they're using that to build it on. And for the price on Amazon, I'm like, you know what? I've got to get it. I've got to try it out. And you don't even lose your heated steering wheel, although the parts that are carbon fiber are not heated, just the parts that are leather. I'm fine with that. Yeah, we got the steering wheel. We're going to head home. We're going to install that bad boy and tell you guys what I think. Alright, so this here be the Tez Feel carbon fiber steering wheel that everybody's hyping up. Comes with a nice little cleaning cloth. I like how the box is foam cut and it's fit to the steering wheel just so that way it ships perfectly. That way it kind of keeps it out of harm's way. It comes with a stamp safety inspection card and with an explanation of the mounting torque and force testing procedures done on the steering wheel. You know, this is heated, but it's only going to be heated on these leather areas, so you're going to lose the heating part on the carbon fiber. Kind of not a big deal. So let's get to removing some stuff. Okay, so rule number one, let's unplug the negative terminal on your battery before we start messing with the airbag. That's what you're going to need. 10 millimeter. The first thing we're going to want to do is we got to remove the airbag, so then that way we can get access to everything. The bolt, all of the connections to unplug these. So in order to do that, there's multiple videos on how to do this, and basically on the paddle shifters, there's like a little hole right in through there, and basically you just need to get something that's kind of like a flathead screwdriver in through there, and what that does is there's like a spring-loaded mechanism, and all you're doing is pushing that spring in. You're going to end up releasing this side, and then you'll do the same with this side. It's actually fairly simple as long as you have a decent enough tool to accomplish it. I'm going to use, I think, a size 3 Allen wrench, which I got over here. And I think it should work perfect. So once we get it fed through this hole back here, this one's not even that long. I've seen people using longer ones. This one's not even that long, but it's still perfect. It's not about the size, it's how you use it. Okay, so we're in there now, and I can just feel it. Like, as long as you get the Allen wrench in there and you push, you'll feel it like, you'll just feel a spring-loaded mechanism. So what you're going to want to do is push in. And now, since we're working on the right side first, push in, and on the right side, kind of pull. I haven't even pulled this off yet, so I already got the right side kind of pulled up, and what I'll do is I'll hold it. It'll probably stay, and we're going to switch it over to the left side and do the exact same thing. Get it in there, and felt it. Boom. So there we have it. That was just the first initial pop. So I've never taken this off, so that's how easy it was. The matter of 1 minute. And now what you'll see, I think this is a 26 millimeter bolt, which is what we're going to do to remove it. And then we've got a couple connections right here. So there's two here that we're going to want to take off first. I did pull these off with just my fingernail. You'll see that it just pushes in to lock it. Just dig it in there, pull it up. Once you have the orange pieces popped up, you can just kind of shimmy it back and forth, and they pop right out. And then you're going to have these spade connectors right here, which should just basically, it's kind of routed, you'll see that. But you pop this one, and then you'll pop this guy. Now that we got the plugs undone, all we had to do was these two, and then the two spade connectors. And you can see that they're color-coded, so obviously yellow goes to yellow, teal is going to go to the teal one. So the airbag comes off in literally under 5 minutes. It's that simple. With the airbag out of the way, the next thing we need to do is undo, I think, 4 connectors. So we're gonna have the one up here, and then since I have the heated steering wheel, that's what that's gonna be. So if you don't have that, that's just because you don't have the heated steering wheel option. So we're gonna unplug that. But this gray connector right back here, you're just gonna unplug that one. That one's for the paddle shifter, and then on the opposite side, there's kind of the same connector. It's that black one with the green wire right there. you're going to unplug that one as well for the other paddle shifter. And these ones you're just going to end up unplugging by hand. There's like a little button right on the top here. You just push that in, and you're going to want to use a little force with your finger. Pull that out. So now that's loose. And the same with this. The buttons on the bottom here is what you're going to push up. And that one's pulled. Now with these plugs undone, we're going to do the paddle shifter. So with this gray one right back here, the piece you're going to want to push in is kind of on the back side, and it's just at almost at the very bottom of the actual connector. You'll just barely feel it. You push that in and pull it out. So then that one's undone, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about. You just push that down. The left side paddle shifter connector is the exact same way. It's just that little push pin on the bottom of the connector. So now we've got paddle shifters undone, the plugs up here, and then we just need to undo this. So what you'll do is you'll just pop this off, kind of rotate it, and this connector here I was able to just undo by hand. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pry it from the top first, and we're going to pop this side, we're going to pop this side, and then we'll get the bottom. But we just want to basically pull straight out with it, and don't, just kind of be gentle with it at first. You can see I'm already kind of pulling it, and I'm not even like pushing that hard. And just kind of like wiggle it as you're pulling it, just to be safe. So once I kind of got more room, I kind of popped it, and the same with this side. So I'm going to kind of pull it, and I can already see where I've separated it, and I'm just going to try to get my fingers under there. And I popped it more, and then I'm going to keep working my fingers down, just kind of wiggling it back and forth. Just because you can't be too gentle, especially with OEM stuff. So now this is popped. And you can kind of see how the wires are ran, and they're kind of in like a little joist up there. You'll end up pulling those out, and you're just going to want to retuck those back in. Since everything's broke free, this harness, you're going to see there's like a zip tie here and a zip tie here, and they're actually up in these holes. So what I used was a pair of needle nose pliers, and I just tried to grip onto the plastic. I didn't want to pull the actual wires, and just pull it out. And I believe the way it came out should be able to possibly pop those back into place. But once you get that, now you have your faceplate off with your harness, and now we can go ahead and get the factory steering wheel undone. This is a 24 millimeter. I don't have a 24. The biggest I actually have is a 22, but this 15/16 works, and it's going to get the job done for me. And, you know, try to leave the steering wheel straight. Don't try to mess with it or move it as best you can. Now we should be good to pull the wheel off. Pull your harness through. And just like that, she is off. So now, let's compare. And here is what the factory wheel looks like. So basically, this does look 100% exactly the same as OEM. So again, guys, this is the OEM one, and you can see this is the plug for your heating element, which is going to go up, and you can see it goes in through there. And then over here, since it's only going to be heated on these edges, that's why these two mechanisms come in. And now this is going to be the plug that's going to end up in the center there for the heat. And then this plug here is going to be the plug where the green one was. Now to pull the paddle shifters off, it's just a T20 Torx. There's going to be a total of 3 screws. 2 on the back side. Then there's just going to be this black T20 right here. Just be careful with it. So now that pulls this out, and then you can see there's no harness with it because we're going to be plugging a harness into it. We're going to go ahead and set that in. Set that in. Since these aren't already pre-threaded, they are kind of a little stiff at first, tightening them, but just make sure that, you know, that they're on there good, and give it a check. So now that we've got that part taken care of, we'll go ahead and get this reinstalled. Like I was trying to show you, these harnesses, see how they're kind of curved right here? They're going to end up going back in those channels, and then these 2 little plastic pieces, they're going to end up going in those 2 holes right there. You'll know when you go to take yours apart. So now on the new harness of the new steering wheel, this piece here covered in like the cloth-like material, that's going to be for the green one there. And make sure you get it clicked in. Then the gray one here plugs into the gray here, which is the paddle shifter. You can just hear it click in nice and perfect. Same with this one. The black one over here goes to the black one over here, which is the paddle shifter. It's just kind of color-coded. You can't really mix them up because the harness only goes so far to it. And then let's try to get these zip tie pieces popped in. I think you can almost just push them back down. So just kind of push those plastic pieces back up, squish them together, and then you can pop them back into their respective little home in here. So now you can see those wires are just meant to go in this channel. Now let's go ahead and get this plastic piece actually popped back in. Since I started from the top before and got the bottom out last, we're going to put the bottom in first, which is what I did. I just kind of popped it in place and just kind of work our way up. Like these pieces right here, it was kind of a little difficult for me to get it pushed on. But if you just kind of grab it like this, and you can pop it on. But if you're having a little trouble with this getting clicked in, take it back off. Start reseating it another way. Now we are all good to go. Put the steering wheel back on. Just check, make sure all your buttons are clicking. And yeah, let's install this. Now we're just on the home stretch. So just try to remember, keep this, you know, as straight as possible. Don't mess that up. We're gonna go ahead and get the bolt back in. And I don't have a torque wrench. I think you're supposed to do like 30, but that's all we're doing. The bolt wasn't that tight to begin with. 30 foot-pounds is not that much, so we're just going to do it by hand. We just need to get these plugged back in. Pretty self-explanatory which way these plugs go in. They only go in one way. We're going to go ahead and get these on first. And these spade connectors, they're two different sizes. The black one only goes so far. The red one is a little longer. You can't really mix them up because they're different sizes, which is kind of a good thing. And then the yellow plug goes to the yellow on the airbag, the teal goes to the teal. Pretty simple. So now you can see that those are clipped in, and then once they're in, push them back in. Okay, so now that all of our connections are done, we should be able to just kind of pop it on place. And this was just a little tutorial on swapping out your steering wheel. This was super easy, by the way. Like, if I didn't have to videotape this, it probably would have taken me like a half hour. And now that I've done it once, I could probably do it in like 15 minutes probably, at tops, 15-20 minutes. The big changes are, this is a little fatter of a steering wheel until you get up to the top part. So you'll just get a little used to this, but the heat felt really good. And on the back side, there's kind of like some dimples. And that's obviously where your fingers go in between, just to kind of give you more of like a comfort feel. Something kind of subtle, but it does kind of feel nice. Overall, this thing feels super, super premium. I mean, it was $330. It's the cheapest carbon fiber steering wheel I think you can get on the market. I'm not going to go back to the factory steering wheel, but I'm going to keep my factory steering wheel. I already had one person reach out asking if I was going to get rid of the factory steering wheel. If I do decide to, I'm gonna get back to him first. Right now, we're just gonna keep it. I think in the event down the road we end up selling the truck, that way the truck has the factory steering wheel, or maybe I'll just swap it back. But I do not see myself getting bored of this, and I do not see myself going back to the factory steering wheel. On that note, that's all me and the Wrigley Man got for you guys today. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below, and we'll see you guys. Peace.